Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be reviewing the Cayman upholstered bed. It's a modern bed with a minimal look, but with a very comfortable headboard. Let's dive into its details. We introduced the Cayman bed by saying that it has this modern and minimal look, and we can see straight away that it's built on top of this relatively thin platform. It's 5 centimeters, which is completely upholstered, and it is supported by these wooden poles on the 4 corners. The poles on the back are higher and become a decorative element, while the elements on the front are lower, and they are basically feet that support the bed on the front. So let's continue focusing on the back of the Cayman bed. Of course, you can place it in front of the wall, and it's beautiful from the front as well. It's also comfortable, but we can see here how you can imagine a room with a closet on the back, and you place the bed in front of the closet. Of course, when you do something like this, you will probably choose bedside tables which are finished on the back, like this model, or let's say side tables, like coffee tables which are used in the living room that might be used as bedside tables. In any case, here we see how the bed is built with these supporting poles we were describing, this metal bar which is available in 2 colors, okay, which connects the poles and actually supports the cushions that are placed in front. Here we see how the cushions are fixed with this tiny strap to the metal bar, and it's indeed beautiful and very clean. We said it's a minimal bed with comfortable backrests of the headboard, and actually it's 2 big cushions with a basic shape, no stitching, very clean design. On the side we have these volant elements, which are actually quite big and become a decorative elements. So very clean design the backrest, very clean design the bed perimeter, but we have here these details which are a nice touch. So let's talk about its materials. First of all, here we see it made in nubuck leather, in plain nubuck, the nubuck without grain, and as all leathers we can see that the bed perimeter has stitches. It has 1 in front with this double stitch, and it has 1 on each side. So there's this tiny difference between a fabric item or a leather item of furniture, because just as like we manufacture our furniture using leather with a high-end approach, so that you see that on big cushions or even on a sofa there are no stitches and big pieces of leather are used. Of course, on such long pieces like the front of the bed or the side of the bed, we can see it also on the side. The length of leather pieces is not enough to cover the whole 2 meters of the side of the bed, and so here you always find a stitch. You would not find it on faux leather or on fabric or on velvet. Going onto this very material, so we can have this bed in any fabric, faux leather or leather art collection. This is the plain nubuck, we said, without grain, and it's indeed this is the shell color. It's indeed beautiful in terms of touch and pressures. I can admit that the other day we were discussing the Ambassador microfiber, which is a very high-end microfiber. In terms of touch, when it is, and even in terms of look, when it is assembled, you don't really perceive a difference from a distance. The big difference is this is natural full-grain leather, and so I can even might say that it's cooler, for example, in the summer than the Ambassador microfiber, which is a very good material, but it is indeed synthetic and 100% polyester. So here we see the shell color of the nubuck plain leather, and I must admit that as much as nubuck is beautiful with such a light color, it can be a bit less practical than other leathers or nubuck in darker colors, but of course it's indeed beautiful, and especially you need to make a comparison between a bed where, for example, you don't normally sit on the bed, or you might lie on the headboard using your pyjama, wearing your pyjama, while, for example, on a sofa not only you might be dressed with your day clothing, but there might be guests and friends and relatives coming, and you might also have a snack or a drink on the sofa. So when you choose the material and the color, this is something to take into consideration. So I could get, I actually do have a bed in my home, not in this leather, but with one of the less practical leathers in a light color, and on the bed it actually works. So very much customization possibilities in terms of the cover, and we can also have 9 finishes for the wood of these details, of these supporting elements. This is solid oak wood, and the 9 colors, this is the color Giro, and you can actually find interesting matches between the two parts. So we've come to the end of today's product review about the Cayman upholstered modern minimal bed. I hope that you like it, and see you next time. Bye bye.